not just creating devices. We are very focused today on creating tools of self-expression, because these are what mobile devices are today, are tools of self-expression that should reflect individuality, and that should be able to turn technology into something that is really personal and not just utilitarian or functional.
Hello, and welcome to the latest episode of Bit by Bit Leadership Conversations. I am your host, Carolina Milanesi, and today I am delighted to be joined by Ruben Castano, who is the Global Head of Brand, Design, and Customer Experience at Motorola. I asked Ruben to join me because I'm really curious to hear more about how Motorola's relationship with partnerships from a branding perspective is developing. I love the fact that since he joined in 2005, Rubin has been dead focused on really building customers' experience, but put human centric technology first. And I'm curious about a lot of things actually, but how you build a team that is so confident in partnering and yet maintaining your identity. I think what when I hear Ruben speak often is all about putting the people first, putting not the technology but the human first, and really bringing together partnership that are showcasing how design, customer experience not only enhance the device itself but extend beyond the hardware to really build a better relationship between the user and the technology. And with that, I'm going to shut up and welcome Ruben to the conversation. Good morning, buongiorno.
Buongiorno Carolina, how are you?
I'm okay. Come stai?
Tutto bene. Tutto
Bene.
bene. Thank you for
Benissimo.
having me.
It's an absolute pleasure because we are lucky enough to talk often during the year, that I've always appreciated how Motorola over the past few years has found a way to really show up. If it was a person, I would say in their authentic self, but that is true about branding as well. And yet, partner. Um, and I think that I want to start with that. You have such a strong heritage as a brand, and I'm curious how you're balancing something that, to be honest with you, other brands have failed to do, which is balancing that legacy and yet continue to innovate and move forward. Because sometimes when you're successful with something, you are almost held hostage, right? And that's true about branding as well. So how do you do that? How do you balance legacy and moving forward?
Well, I do agree with you. Our heritage runs deeper than most of the competitors that we have in the mobile industry today, and that's a great foundation for us to keep building on top of. We will continue to innovate. We will continue to bring innovative technology that solves real consumer problems to mobile devices, to mobility in general. But we also, at the same time, strongly believe that the race for technical superiority by itself is very narrow focused.
Yeah.
So, as much as we're focused on developing new and innovative and problem solving technology, we're now very focused also on making these devices that we carry with us all the time elements of self expression, elements of lifestyle that complement your personal brand and that become meaningful experiences in your everyday life. So, in other words, we're not just creating devices. We are very focused today on creating tools of self expression, because these are what mobile devices are today, are tools of self expression that should reflect individuality, and that should be able to turn technology into something that is really personal and not just utilitarian or functional.
And it's funny because it feels to me like we're kind of coming full circle, because I'm going to show off how long I've been covering the mobile industry, but many years ago, that's where the phone started. The moment that we started with smartphones, and even before that, it was because it's so central to our everyday experience. It was a way of self-expressing, and back when Motorola had the first razor, the design were so different because we had swivel, we had candy bars, we had clamshells, and as we progressed into the smartphone era, we went back to everybody is a piece of glass, right? Is a rectangular piece of glass, and now we're starting again to to rethink that self-expression. As I mentioned earlier, every time that you have the opportunity to say this, you really hammer down how it is all about the experience, and the experience that not just the aesthetic of a design, but also the full package of the technology, the software bring to um, the user. How do you encourage your team to think beyond, on one side, the engineers, just the tech, and your designer to think beyond just the function and the design?
Uh, I love that question because it's so fundamental for the work that we do at Motorola. For us, it really starts with a basic principle, and I can summarize it in: we don't really try to ask consumers what they want. What we try to do is understand how they live. And
Oh, I love that.
when you get that understanding of how consumers are living their lives and how they are integrating technology into their everyday lives, then you get really the fundamental insights of, okay, here's how we go about solving this specific problem for them and converting technology into meaningful experiences. After that, Carolina, it's really about three main things. Anything that we do, and that's what I drive a lot with our teams, is it needs to be purposeful, so it needs to solve a real consumer problem. Once we've identified that, it needs to be usable.
Mm.
A lot of ergonomics, a lot of usability, a lot of research goes, that is more concrete research goes into the user interface, the logic, the way something will really be easily understandable. And then the last element is it needs to be beautiful. So purposeful, usable, beautiful. Once we've identified again how consumers are living with technology, it's those three building blocks that we have to one by one work through and check those boxes to make sure our products are delivering what they need to do.
It's funny because, and you might hate me for bringing this up, but
Never,
um,
never.
um, what I really think your principal nails is the fact that there are different hooks for people, right? When you're using technology, but the fact that something has to be beautiful, especially when it's something that you carry every day, it is important. And I always remember, during the era of feature phones, before everybody had their own um, their own OS with Android and the SKUs. There were devices like, I'm going to use this thing because it's so beautiful, despite the software, right? It was like despite, and now you've showing that there's no more compromise, right? There you can do beautiful, usable, and easy, and useful in all the same way. But I'm curious, when you're thinking about partnership like Pantone and Swarovski and Bose, how are you thinking about not just your collaboration from a design perspective? Because with Pantone, it's not just about the color of the device itself, but you go beyond and looking at colors in actually in the software side of things, and color there's a technical term that you use that escapes me now, like being true to the real color that it appears in nature, which I forget how you call it.
Right. Yeah. That we are, to your point, we are using Pantone not only as a partner to help us be ahead in terms of trends that have to do with lifestyle, with fashion, with apparel, and so on. But Pantone, in its origins, is also a technology company,
Right.
and they've developed over the years an expertise of calibrating displays, printers, and so on. So the output of those devices is true to life. And
That's it.
so we use the technology, which is called Pantone Validated, to also calibrate our own cameras and displays, and the benefit for the consumer, especially today that consumers are so focused on content creation, is that when they capture either photos or videos and then preview them on a Motorola device, they're getting this accuracy of true to life colors and skin tones, and that's a another advantage of our partnership with Pantone. In a broader sense, I would say we are seeking partnerships with brands like Pantone and Bose and Swarovski to enhance, to complement the experience that a Motorola consumer has with our brand and with our own devices. So whether it's through bold colors, very tactile materials, adding a touch of elegance, and building on very interesting ideas like what we're doing with Swarovski, which is, can we create a whole category that's around techno jewelry, for
Yeah.
example? If we want to be truly the reference lifestyle brand within the industry, we have to find those sorts of partners in collaborations that are not just limited to design, but that are helping us shape this broader lifestyle strategy that we are developing, and that help us connect consumers with emotional levers and emotional triggers that also help us go beyond just simple tech specs, which, like I said before, we have to continue to be very focused on, as well as we continue to innovate and deliver that in the form of mobile products and accessories.
But I think what I hear you say is, and I hope I'm right because I agree, is that there's a difference between being focused on technology for innovation's sake and making technology the hook per se versus the outcome that technology brings. Am I understanding you correctly?
You're right. You're absolutely right.
So we're
Technology,
celebrating the outcome, not the technology per se.
yes, technology again has to be there, has to be working and solving problems in the background. But for many consumers, technology, the simpler it is, the more usable it is, like I was saying, the better.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to be an expert to be able to use an everyday device like the ones Motorola develops.
Absolutely. So you're talking about collaboration, and I'm curious how you balance your identity with the one and the DNA of your partner. Over the years, I've seen many collaborations, and I remember a mobile brand partnering with a haute couture house, and it just didn't work because the price point was wrong, right? When people are buying a high-end designer, there's a pain in how much you're paying for that stuff, and having that associated with the phone that was actually a mid-tier phone didn't work. So how do you balance your own identity with the ones of the brands that you're partnering with?
Fundamentally, it's about shared values. For two companies to collaborate successfully, they have to have the same focus. They have to share some heritage, but most importantly, they have to be willing to take those common values and bring them together for the benefit of the end consumer. That when that becomes a win-win for both brands, I think that becomes a really meaningful collaboration that can go just beyond the aesthetics or the beauty of a certain product. Then it becomes about creating something that has depth, purpose, and meaning, and that really helps support both brands. And the beauty of these partnerships, I'll use Pantone as an example, is that it's not just a single device. Pantone impacts our entire portfolio. Like we were talking before, it goes beyond their expertise in terms of color, materials, finishes that are trend based, that are going to help our brand cement that position of a lifestyle reference brand within the mobile industry. But it also adds that technology aspect that is making our content creation experiences so much better. So again, the more we work with these partners, the more we start to get deeper into their areas of expertise and how we can collaborate together and bring these unique experiences to life through our shared products and shared values. The same approach is happening today with Bose. The same approach is happening with Swarovski. You've seen in our press releases and so on. The
Yeah.
This brilliant collection is just a start. We want to continue developing the space. We want to continue developing ideas of how these two brands can come together. And that, to your point, is also very much aligned to who we are as Motorola. We're not seeking to take our products and move them to a completely different price point. We're not seeking to alienate or to remove our core consumer base that we have today. No, we're just seeking to enhance their experience by bringing also the expertise of these very reputable brands from other industries.
So you started to tell me and preempting my question, which is what how are you thinking about meaningful collaborations, right? It's not just about market share, but you said is an alignment of values and ethics and goals. What else makes it meaningful to you?
Well, beyond the shared values, as we work together with these brands, there are other very important elements. For example, craftsmanship, and that's something that we have. The more we have worked with brands like Swarovski, we have seen that we take a lot of care in how we are building our devices, how we are really leveraging all the possibilities we have from a craftsmanship perspective, sensorial perspective, tactility, and so on our devices. They feel the same way. For them, craftsmanship is a key element of well built, high quality products that in their space, the space of jewelry, has a lot of meaning. So for us to be able to bring those elements together, to bring their expertise together with ours, just adds more meaning to the partnership and it helps
Mm,
us create better products at the end of the day. We
I,
today at Motorola, we're very focused on self-expression and why mobile devices are an element of self-expression.
mm,
So introducing these exclusive products in the forms of collections where we can blend technology and jewelry is just a natural first step of something like that. The same thing is happening with Bose, where their audio expertise is helping us create a much better mobile experience for our consumers.
and I love the fact that you are experimenting from a design perspective with earbuds because as AI becomes more of a companion, I see earbuds becoming more critical to the experience that we have, and so is as an extension of your phone. I'm gonna just kind of use you for a second in a good way in terms of you're here, you have such a breadth of experience with your career. What would be your advice for somebody that is trying to build a successful partnership with someone?
We've touched on a lot of these points during our conversation, but I think beyond shared values, both brands have to really be focused on the end user experience, on the user journey, and like I said before, really wanting to understand what matters to consumers in the way that they live and how we can integrate their expertise, our expertise into developing a new experience and by definition then solving a consumer pain point or a problem for them. But that's just the basics.
Mm,
It has to also add emotional value and
mm,
depth to the consumer. Two brands coming together needs to generate and spark intrigue and emotion that then is substantiated by the actual product and the problem that we are solving for consumers. So, partnering with brands that share vision, uh, in some cases, and this happens still today. I love the fact that Pantone, for example, challenges us all the time. They are always bringing not only insights from other industries, but they are bringing very meaningful insights in terms of trends that are important for consumers, whether it's sustainability, whether it's the way our brand positioning or social teams should be reaching out to really resonate and talk to certain consumer segments. Those challenges are extremely important for us, and done in the right way, they help our brands grow and really show the value and the strength of these types of partnerships.
that's a great point because I think maybe tech more than other industry, we become a little bit too like kind of inward looking, and we are getting input from somebody that is in fashion or audio, whatever, that is not just about tech, I think really opens up your opportunity of tackling a problem, or thinking about design differently. I'm curious. I think we made it, what, 15, 20 minutes before I brought up the term AI, which I
Yeah, we
think is
did.
the record. But I'm curious. Obviously, so far, Motorola is taking a very open approach to AI in terms of giving customers choice and not deciding for them. We're still at the very beginning, and I think that your approach is spot on in providing an opportunity for consumers to find their way into AI while you're delivering, in camera, for instance, which we all know is critical to consumers. Some experiences you then let them um, options as far as the partners that you have there. How are you thinking about AI and UX? Like, what do you think AI can do to deepen and at the same time making easier the collaboration we have with our devices?
when when it comes to AI, the principles remain the same. It's how do we take a new technology, extremely powerful like AI is, and integrate it into consumers' everyday lives and their known behavior. So we are treating AI not as something that consumers have to learn how to use it, but as something that, as much as we can, we are integrating it into the user flows and the way they use their mobile devices today. What have we done to date? We actually took the approach of launching our AI as a beta program to learn, to get feedback from real end users, to try to understand how effectively and efficiently our solutions are and how we can take those learnings and build improvements and better features into our next releases of AI. So to date, we have developed AI experiences that proactively surface suggestions, proactively allow the user to take advantage of what AI can do for them, but without really ever having to ask them to learn or to use their mobile device in a different way. In parallel to that, to your point, we have also come to the conclusion that even with AI, like we are doing with many other areas of our lifestyle strategy, partners are a fundamental aspect of how we bring a better experience to consumers. Partnering with the very best AI providers that are out there really gives us some unique strengths because each one of those partners is good at certain things and
Yeah.
allows us to tailor AI solutions to very personal needs that consumers might have, whether it's more on the productivity side, whether it's more on the content creation side, or whether it's just more on the research and learning side of things. So we will continue to develop these partnerships as well as we are developing more partnerships when it comes to the design and the lifestyle elements of our devices.
I really appreciate that because we're so early in the AI era that consumer need options and need some guidance. So partnerships, in my opinion, are uh, very important in helping your audience find their way. And you have a very broad audience as well. From you're one of a few brands that has such a good balance between women and men, as an example. You tend to skew younger, which is something that other brands have been struggling with in getting more the younger generation. And you have been experimenting with design with foldable. So there's so much going on, but we're almost at time, and I would be remiss not to ask you, as we all friends, what is coming next? What are you working on that you're excited about from a partnership perspective?
Well, from a personal point of view, what can I tell you? Carolina, our lifestyle tech strategy will continue to drive both our portfolio as well as the way we express our brand elements throughout the entire consumer journey. As a company, we've all kind of centered around truly becoming the lifestyle tech reference brand within the industry. We just launched our very first collections by Motorola. It's a series of products that have been curated very carefully with brands like Bose and Swarovski and so on. Pantone will continue to influence and to collaborate with us to curate all the colors, materials, and finishes, as well as more and more elements of craftsmanship that we incorporate into our devices. And while I can't obviously share any more details, I
You
will
can.
say that no, this is just the first step. We're really excited about the Brilliant Collection launch with Swarovski, but it's just the first step. There will be more exciting announcements and more to come along the same lines as well.
Well, I appreciate you not sharing. No, I appreciate you being with us today. I generally really appreciate the work that Motorola has been putting in finding your voice and your form of expression and staying true to not you as a brand as well, but the uh, consumers that put their trust in a brand that shows up differently and is happy to do so. Where can people find out more about you or engage in conversations with you? Are you much of a social person?
Sure, I can be found on LinkedIn. I think that's a great place to start.
Thank you so much again for being with us today. I really enjoyed the conversation. Thank you, Ruben.
Thank you, Carolina. Always a pleasure.